Hello everyone, welcome to Inconvenient Truths. I'm your host, Jennifer Zeng. The cloud of war has been hanging over us for the past 2 years, and while most of us don't like war, there are those who benefit hugely from it. Today, we are going to review some evidence that the CCP is helping a Middle Eastern country, most likely Iran, to build weapons and sell ammunition to Russia. Then we'll talk about the true state of the CCP and Xi Jinping as revealed by an inside source with access to high-level CCP figures, and the fact that the CCP has ordered the total destruction of COVID-related information throughout China. So make sure you stick around till the end. On February 21st, the overseas Chinese YouTube channel Lude Media exposed that the CCP had completed delivery of a heavy weapons production project in an anti-American country in the Middle East. Lude Media did not say which country this was, but when the viewer left a comment that it was Iran, Lude Media implied that his guess was right. Here is the internal document that Lude Media exposed. The text above the photo read, Project 1016 successfully completed overseas delivery tests. The text below the image reads, on December 19, 2023, the Project 1016 team finally successfully completed the signing of the minutes of negotiation and a certificate of qualification for user country site acceptance test, internally codenamed SAT-2. This marks the official completion of the entire project. The picture in the center showed be a group photo of Chinese personnel participating in the project with personnel from the country in the Middle East. This is a description of Project 1016, which reads, Project 1016 is the first national capacity export project of measurement and control system in the history of China's military trade. It faces enormous technical challenges with a complex system, highly demanding user requirements, uncontrollable testing constraints, and has endured global upheavals as well as extreme economic difficulties in the user country. So what exactly is this project? Let's look at these pictures. According to Lude Media, what they made was the CCP's VT-4 main battle tank. I looked it up. VT-2 tank is also known as the MBT-3000 main battle tank. It is a third-generation main battle tank developed by the CCP from the late 2000s to 2010, specifically for arms trade exports, and this is the successor of the Type 92 MBT 2000 export tank. Now, let's talk about CCP's support for Russia. Not long ago, the London-based Royal United Service Institute and the Ukraine Center for Defense Strategies released an investigation that said China, which had not supplied nitrosamines to Russia until 2022, became the largest supplier by the end of 2023. From March 1st, 2022 to December 21st, 2023, Russia has received a total of $106 million in nitrosamines from China. In fact, Lude Media has pointed out that China is supplying Russia with raw materials for ammunition on a piecemeal basis. Here is the evidence Lude Media presented on their February 25th program. This is the first contract approved by the Military Products Trade and Export Office under the CCP's Central Military Commission after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. It was approved on November 10, 2022. This is the cover of the Military Product Trade and Export Office of the CCP's State and Administration of Science, Technology, and Industry for National Defense. All exports of military products need to be approved by this office. This is the physical, chemical, and ballistic specifications for a propellant called double-base nitrocellulose 11, including the components, granule size, barrel length, projectile weight, and so on. This is a part of the ordering contract, including the product name, quantity, delivery schedule, total amount, and so on. The table above is the original Chinese text, and below is the English translation I provided. I don't know much about ammunition materials, so the translation may not be that perfect. If you know a better professional translation, please let me know in the comment section. But the quantities, delivery schedule, total amount, etc., these translations are correct. So it is an indisputable fact that the CCP is secretly helping Russia. More and more people are now seeing the true face of the CCP. Ironically, a report of the Financial Times yesterday, that's February 28th, claimed that leaked Russian military documents showed that President Putin's forces had carried out drills on the use of tactical nuclear weapons in the event of an early stage of conflict with a world power. And surprisingly, the documents also included training scenarios against an invasion by the CCP. This means that while the CCP has been supporting Russia, Putin doesn't trust the CCP, and he even implied in a recent interview with Tucker Carlson that the CCP is the West's greatest enemy. So the CCP and Russia are just using each other as pawns, bargaining chips, and shields. The so-called friendship based on interest will be over when the interest is gone. In an exclusive interview with the Chinese language Epoch Times, a man who goes by the name of Lin Hui said that in the midst of a downturn in all industries in China, the military industry is doing relatively well, and that they are more willing to spend money and even produce Western-style weapons and equipment. Lin Hui has had business dealings with the CCP's military industry. He visited 3 factories, all located in central China. One produces weapons, one produces batteries for submarine aircraft carriers, and one produces air-to-air missiles and other weapons. According to Lin Hui, the factory that produces weapons may be a private enterprise. This enterprise only processes metal parts. There is a display of products in the hall, which is about 300 to 400 square meters. There are all kinds of gun parts, many of which are not easy to produce. They want people to come over to visit to get more orders. Lin Hui said the factory has an excellent collaborative unit award and Planck issued by China's Arms Equipment Research Institute, referred to as Number 208 Research Institute. Public information shows that Number 208 Research Institute is subordinate to China's South Industrial Group. It is the only light weapons research and design unit for the CCP's military and police. These are some photos he secretly took at that time. He said that he could have the opportunity to take pictures in this factory only, but with the factories that produces missiles, there were no chances whatsoever. Su Ziyun, director of the Strategy and Resources Institute of Taiwan's National Defense Security Research Institute, made an analysis based on these photos. He believed that the first one is a shell casing of an artillery shell. The second photo is a grenade launcher, and the third is a standard armor for an M16 or M4 rifle. Here are photos of M16 rifles and grenade launchers from the internet. As to why this Chinese weapon production factory is displaying Western spec M16 rifles, Su Ziyun believes that the CCP may want to make money on both sides of the Russian-Ukraine war, with state-owned enterprises making money from Russia and private enterprises making money from Ukraine. A new study by the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute shows that Communist China has become the world's second largest weapons producer behind the United States and ahead of Russia. Lin Hui said that according to his observation, China's military industry is still doing very well in the face of the downturn in other industries, spending money and building new plants. When he went there, he saw that new plants were being built in the factory area, and the one that produces air-to-air missiles would spend hundreds of millions of dollars to build a very good, smart office building. Here's another AFP scoop on what's going on inside China. According to an AFP report, a source with access to the CCP's ruling circle says that China seems like a pressure cooker ready to explode. The situation is extremely dangerous. Everyone is afraid. Nobody is trusted. As a result of the financial crisis, apart from Beijing, 1/5 of civil servants in other cities and provinces are not receiving their salaries. The situation is also serious in public hospitals where doctors are underpaid because the local government is in debt and out of money. In Shanghai, some doctors earn as little as 120 euros a month. The children of senior leaders at all levels, from vice ministers to senior leaders, has either left China or are preparing to do so. Many of the children of the so-called second-generation red families have lost their confidence. Those with large amounts of money in China are no longer depositing it in banks because they have also lost confidence in the banks. Some senior financial officials have also said that it is necessary to declare national bankruptcy. Real GDP growth is now below 3%, a far cry from the official figure of 5.2% for 2023. It has actually returned to the level of the 1960s Cultural Revolution era. Of course, She says it is below 3%, but we've done a program before showing that China's GDP in 2023 is actually a negative 4.9% using the expenditure method, or even a negative 9.5% if measured in US dollars. The source also said that Xi has lost his sense of reality. He's surrounded by followers who flatter him and hide the truth from him. The situation is very similar to the moment when Mao Zedong felt power slipping away from him. What did he do then? He launched the Cultural Revolution. The source says that the CCP has produced an entire generation that will be sacrificed. It will take 20 or 30 years for China to get out of this mess. Here's another piece of information that is related to COVID. A Mr. Chen recently disclosed to the Chinese language Epoch Times that the CCP has demanded that China's health system destroy all COVID-related documents in an attempt to erase the record of this period in an attempt to erase the record of this period of history. Mr. Chen said that a friend of his was a leader at a local hospital. This friend told him that the government had asked health departments nationwide to destroy all information related to COVID, including information on the entire process of fighting the epidemic, information on the COVID vaccines, etc. All the information had to be destroyed. Not a single bit of it could be left behind, and the computer data had to be completely deleted. He also said that this requirement is nationwide and true. Whether it is information on paper or on the computer, everything has to be deleted. Even the records of vaccination and the COVID testing should all be destroyed. Mr. Chen said that the authorities are trying to erase this part of history so the future generations will not know that there was such a thing because it was a failure for the government. It's like when Mao Zedong killed so many Chinese people, the history couldn't be kept. Mr. Chen also said that there are still a lot of people who have contracted the virus recently, and a lot of people who have pneumonia and white lungs. In addition, Epoch Times interviewed 2 citizens in Anhui province who said also that local hospitals are overcrowded and there are people of all ages in serious conditions. With more elderly people, there have been many deaths too. Well, that's all for today. If you feel like signing up for a membership or making a donation, please visit my website at jenniferzengblog.com. Otherwise, please help me spread the word by subscribing to my channel or sharing my videos. Thank you. See you next time.